Got ourselves buff arc over on the team one, ready to go. What? That's so good. This is such a good mog. I love this hat. It looks so good. We got ourselves Chilpos on the team frequency join in. Also as an elemental shaman. We got Light Messiah as well as Retro Tier. I actually like that a lot. I like the weapons too. That looks great. Shell's gonna be first up versus a Lucifer. A bit of a rematch between the Paladin and the Death Knight. These two just fought each other last match. Chilpos barely squeaked by in the victory, trying to see if he can just fight right through Lucifer head to toe, just head on. And it's gonna be mad damage out of Lucifer. Got himself immunity to magic damage for a good bit. Chilpos having to tank up a lot of this damage. He's just fighting into a full-on crusade. No, he's not. For some reason I thought he was unholy. He's Frost. Silence on Lucifer. Does go in for the Hodge. Chilpos trying to see if he can chase after her, but it's going to be a quick blind. Got a big hammer hanging over Chill's head. Could be in a rough spot. Maybe looking at a death pack. The guy, he does play into Saint or Simulacrum, so maybe can use Sim to maybe spell Steal a Bubble. Does not get the chance. Death back right after. AMS not coming back for a while. Got himself a little bit of Lichborn. Looking to catch up a little bit of heals. AMS finally is back up. But Lucifer is looking fairly healthy compared to what the Death Knight's got working with. Shortest stun in the world. Actually able to steal Hand of Freedom for just a moment. Stun right after. Has himself a normal trigger for this one. Does he have any survivability at all? Quick blind. Maybe get himself a couple of Death Strikes. Maybe Remorseless Winter. Trying to see if he keeps him afloat. But I think Lucifer may just have him. Does end up cleaving him down with a Wake of Ashes. The Reaper does go off into Lucifer, but there's only so much that Chilpos could have really done in that situation. Fighting a last time he played so much healing for Frost. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, anybody that says the Death Knights have a lot of healing, it's like we were just talking about earlier. They have like some of the worst healing right now. I want to just get a little bit more, like make a Death Strike feel good to press. You know what I mean? You know, if you set up a big hit, you know, make it somewhat rewarding. Not common, but rewarding. Gotta be Lucifer up next versus Frequency. Hitting him with a stun, trying to go for a knockback. Big hammer hanging over his head, but Lucifer doesn't really want to engage. He wants to actually back up out of there for just a little bit. Try to see if he can maybe collect back some cooldowns. Looking for the Crusade to be coming back up, hopefully soonish. Does not have a bubble or a Blessing of Protection or a Spell Warden for that matter to deal with this. Does go for the land hands as soon as he catches a little bit of a line of sight. Is able to actually go into full set of wings, finally able to get some damage in. Gonna be the Earth Elemental joining in. Quick interrupt into Frequency as Lucifer does end up sending a trinket for this one. That is gonna be a Stormkeeper. Doesn't really have a way to stop it. Stun into Frequency, has himself a trinket. Lightning bolts flying in into Earthshock, leaping right into the fray, and that's gonna be Lucifer barely hanging in there. Got himself the wings still available. Could go for a lot of damage, maybe a little bit of healing. Got himself Shield of Vengeance. That should give him enough confidence in order to charge out of Frequency. Try to see if he can maybe overpower the Shaman. Got himself some healing while uninterruptible, and that's going to be big as that it's Brock and blind for Lucifer, looking for a bit of a reset. Wake of Ashes sent just to get himself a few more resources with a Hand of Freedom. Oh, wait, what? No, the totem. Oh no, it's gonna die. Ah, Lucifer does go down for this poor totem. Is it dying? It does break. It does break. That is so unfortunate. I don't know if it was a tab targeting or whatever. Maybe. This is why a lot of people recommend if you make a tab target macro for PvP or a tab target for anything, make sure you don't tab targets players, not entities. Big grenades out for DJ Flex. Does end up grenading down the Hunter or the Shaman. With Red gonna be up next. Big damage on the Flex. Got him locked down in the stun. Wanted to make sure to trinket and maximize the damage while he had it for just a moment. DJ with a quick turtle shell. If you can utilize this pillar together with an array of traps to just avoid Red, avoid him as best as possible, or Retro rather. I'm gonna call you Retro. That is your name. And maybe he could just buy himself a little bit of time. Couple of many bandages for Retro. He's really gonna, I guess, focus down on the pet as best as possible. You could actually at least use that pet to kind of guide the pet through the traps. And he's trying to see if he can get himself a bit of a reset. No bleeds allowed by the Fury Warrior. Might want to pick up eyes as soon as possible. And for DJ, as long as he can get himself the opener. Red, oh, I like that go. I think he was going to go originally for the eye, but then he decided, you know what, maybe he's next to this pillar. I'm going to veer left, Whirlwind, try to see if I can predict it. Does catch him, quick stun onto DJ, but it's going to be DJ breaking out of that for a second. Got himself the Chimeric Poison rolling onto Red, together with a Death Shock. This is like a good go for DJ Flex. And if Fred can avoid him for a little bit here, he's going to be golden. The pet is going to pull back traps again late, and he's going to be able to go reflect the freeze trap. if only he had a stun to follow up here right now. Does have himself a shockwave with a trick out of flex, trying to see if he can find a way to claw a victory here. Red taking a little bit of damage, yet the Strombo does attack him again. Needs to find a way to get a slow onto DJ Flex to try to control him. But Flex got himself plenty of that range with that Eagle, able to send in the Mongoose bites back to back. Retro doesn't pick it up a little bit of health, but a freezing trap is going to stop him. DJ able to get himself a freezing trap with a Manic Bandage right after. Retro just needs to be looking out for those freezing traps. If he can get himself to reflect on one of those, then lock DJ Flex with a stun with full cooldowns, which is what he has actually. He has himself an opportunity. Charging out as DJ going in, big Death Shark and puts himself out in the open. Big opportunity for Retro to get some damage in. Disarm onto DJ right after. Charging back in with yet another stun. As long as you can keep a slow on the guy and keep the pressure rolling, you'll be okay. Expecting a freezing trap at this point, right? He dropped that in Tar Trap. Oh, if only he had Reflect. No, he has a trigger for those. DJ may be in a lot of trouble. Does go in for Herp when just a root, but Retro goes in for a fear, knowing that he doesn't have the mobility. Got himself Reflect. Maybe he can reduce some of the damage taken. Scatter doesn't really stop him. Stun, though, it's gonna give DJ an opportunity. What is that stun? That is so good. He actually just had to get in there. Oh, man. Buff Arc is gonna be up next. As there's still 4 people left on Team 1. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. 4 are left. I want to see. Is this a C-Mark? This is going to be probably his hardest matchup. If this is C-Mark. For Rajan, I want to see once this man starts moving around. Once he starts moving, that's how we'll know. Actually, no, that is C-Mark. It has to be. Who else plays the orb? Who else goes bowling like he does? Trying to get himself a full touch of the magic. Big damage on the flex. Barrage away from death. And it's actually going to snipe him out. It's going to be a silence rolling in right after. Vitch is trying to see if he can charge out. Looking for maybe a potential interrupt. Maybe steal his buffs. That is a Frosty Mage this time around instead of a Fire. And Arcane, I think, might be in a better spot against a Frost. Or Arcane, I think, is probably better against a Fire Mage. But against the Frost Mage, I think it might be a little bit more of an even match, but we'll find out here soon, yeah. Polymorph, knocking him back. It is going to be a freezy the way, though. Oh, the CC they apply to one another is so glorious. It's going to be Ring of Fire onto Vicious with Shift and Power. Got himself Nether Tempest with Touch of the Magic, knocking him back with that orb. That has, this is 100% C-Mark. Does get himself an interrupt onto Vicious, looking for big damage. Is this going to be enough right now? He's still interrupted, cannot go for an Ice Block for a while. May have to go for a block here really early-ish. That is going to be a decent bit of damage from the Touch of the Magic. Got himself a Frozen Orb if Buff Arcane runs in there. He's going to be slowed. That's a lot of AoE damage for him to deal with. I don't even know whose Ring of Fire is whose anymore. But it's going to be Breath. Interrupt him last second on Frost. Does he have enough damage to take him out? He's still kicked on Frost. No Ice Block for a good bit. Finally get himself a block. At least he got 2. Playing Frost Mage, you got yourself a little bit of a reset you can work with. As Buff Arc is going to go for a bit of a reset. Vish is trying to see if he can get himself a bit of recovery. But Buff has an angle on him. Wants to make sure he's starting off strong here. My goodness, what up, Dal? What's up, Race? My man, loving the stream. I'm glad you are, man. That's gonna be Vicious with a quick blink, dodging away from a big orb of arcane energy. And it's gonna try to see if he can go for a stun with a freeze into arc, but as long as he goes for a poly and walks out of that snowdrift for a second, it's gonna be okay. Big arcane surge, lots of potential. Vicious taking this arcane buff as well as Touch the Magic behind the pillar. But see, what is this Frozen Orb? Oh, he got, that's unlucky. Blizz, you gotta fix these. That shouldn't happen, Blizz. Because like it's a Z-axis. Like even if Seavark stands under it, it does no damage. They gotta fix those kind of things, man. It's so tragic when you see like a hunter place a trap, right? In the moment they're just trying to place it next to the pillar, and it just goes on top of the. Like, how does it even climb a pillar? What is happening? Gonna be a knockout to get Vicious out in the open with an Arcana Sphere. Try to see if he can juke it. Actually, was Vicious blinking in, but Seavark is able to, or Buff Arcane rather, because we don't 100%, but I'm pretty sure it's Seavark. If I had to guess, if I had to put my money on it, probably Seavark was able to juke out that interrupt. Blasting him with a couple barrages. Wait, Lances are actually picking up quite a bit of damage. Buff Arc could be in a bad spot. Vicious and Buff Arc are both in a weird spot. Vicious got a lot of AoE. If you can just get a couple of blizzards around the corner towards Buff Arc. No, missiles do take him out, but Buff is left with no health at all with a Demon Hunt rework guy. He's gonna try to see if he can end them right now. Big Hunt, trying to see if he can bait cooldowns out of him, I think. Maybe an Ice Block. I think that's what he's gonna try to do. Try to see if he can start it, revving the engines, but then stop it halfway through, or at least like most of the way through, until he has himself a proper hunt that he can connect with. Silence of actually Fear on to Buff, does hit him with a stun, able to blink out of there. As long as you can throw some glaze, put a dot on the guy, you might be in a good spot. Full burst out of Arc. That is going to be Metamorphosis out of the Demon Hunter. Breath to follow, knocking it back. Big Hunt. That's going to be the Ice Block. That's when you're going to have to do it. And he does have the Ice Block heal that does ignore the dampening entirely. 50% dampening doesn't stop this healing whatsoever. Demon Hunter rework though. Got himself a decent setup. That is a full Metamorphosis stun. It's going to be a blink right into a wall. Buff Arc does have all the time. Unless you could spell steal it and remove it entirely, he at least more or less know where he's going to reposition to. And as he does do that, he actually is going to have Buff Arc take that spot. Try to see if he can blink away another Arcana Sphere, hoping to maybe land that hit. Does he get it? No, he does hit it. That does actually do quite a bit of damage. It's enough to proc out his cloak. Spore Cloak defensive is gone. Buff Arc with a Wait, I'm sorry. Was it you that just did that? I swear I just heard a slash kiss emote. That, or if it was, no, I think it was one of the NPCs. I swear it sounded like Seawork stopped for a second just to emote the guy. And Errol is going to be up next. Immediate Shadow Strike out of the rogue. He has no Ice Block. There's not much an Arcane Mage can do in this situation. Got himself all the time. Blind to follow him. But I think Errol just has him, right? Cheap shot. Has himself one more way to escape it. But I think it's just done. Trying to see if he can. There's no way. There's just no way you win that. Without an Ice Block, there's nothing you can do. Light Messiah going to be up next. Trying to see if he can find himself an angle versus Errol who goes in for a quick sap. My goodness. Oh, that was glorious, man. That Arcane gameplay, I'm always a fan of. Trinket for Airless. Cloak of Shadows just to deny any magic, any holy damage out of Light Messiah. Right now for the Rogue, it's all about trying to get as many immunities out of the Paladin, catching a quick reset, and hopefully being able to get out of there like a bandit. Gouge onto Light Messiah for just a quick second, as Light hoping to maybe get around the bend, got himself Blades of Justice, blind onto Airless too, as evasion is out and active. Searing Glare. If only Airless had some kind of like a big go, then you could step, kick that Searing Glare. Paladin is locked out of his bubble, and if you have yourself a huge damage burst right then and there, that'd be massive. Kidney Shot, Airless does not really have an answer for this one. All you can do is Shadow Steps, but I think the stun may just seal his deal. That is going to be a Cloak. Last ditch effort to give himself a little bit of survivability. Gouge in the last final moment as the man got not a lot really left in terms of health. Having to almost catching a proper reset. He got himself cheat death. Vanish in just a couple of seconds, so you can at least use that to get himself some CDs back, as well as a proper reset. As long as he doesn't have dots, he might be okay. Kidney Shot just goes in, trying to see if he can force out a Blessing Protection. There goes a Blessing. He has him so cheat death. Light Messiah, not a lot of health. If you could just avoid him and then go back in there as soon as the stuns are up, as long as the Paladin doesn't have a Hodge, you might be okay. Blind? He has a blind. Could go blind off of this Gouge and just go for a resetty. Hold on a second. Are we going to see that? Wake up, bashes into the wall. No! Oh my goodness, why? I hate that. Blind? And Airless still is dotted quite a bit. Oh, no, 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 no. Does Light have the mobility to catch up? I think Airless finally got himself a proper reset with a sap. There goes that NPC again. There they go. I swear. I'm going to try to see if I can get that, the sound, the in-game sound, so you guys can hear a little bit better. Stun onto Airless. This is going to be big slams by Light Messiah. Cloak last second, got himself a Gouge, able to at least avoid some of the magic damage. Cheat death to follow, dotted up. That may still be the end of him. Does he have anything at all? Oh, kidney shot at the end. Light Messiah did hold his own though. Well done, well done. Buff Arc landing himself some 3 kills. Well played, well played. Let's get us another one going, boys, yeah? Uno más, boys.